We are now just 86 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to provide many different twists and turns, as well as revelations in this film, that's truly going to change how we view the past 8 Star Wars movies that come before this one. And that's the great thing about Episode 9, right? Is that we do know that this movie is, of course, going to answer many of the burning questions from The Force Awakens, that's going to be answered in this film by Abrams and, of course, even George Lucas. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to various shot descriptions of the upcoming Episode 9 film by JJ, this is where things begin to get very exciting for this movie. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Kylo Ren are said to be holding hands inside of a strange environment, where they are said to be shrouded in darkness, where it's said that they are using a new Force ability that is Disney's version of flow walking. It's explained that during this sequence, both Rey and Kylo Ren begin to see visions of the past, specifically visions of moments set in between the events of Episodes 6 and 7, where one of which is described to be a vision of Rey and Kylo Ren witnessing both Han Solo and Luke Skywalker in their older years, where Luke is said to give Han Solo a strange-looking device to him, following by a hug where Luke is discovered to walk away, where the last glimpse of Luke is in an X-Wing flying off into the distance. It's explained to be a sequence of the very moment Luke last saw Han Solo and traveling to discover the first Jedi Temple, which eventually leads to a sequence where Rey and Kylo Ren eventually begin to witness a rear shot of Darth Vader from in between the events of Episode 3 and 4, looking at Jedi and Sith ruins inside of a strange underground world that is likely the Lost City, which would explain why Vader's statue resides down there. Now, the sequence is said to be very dark and gritty in that particular moment. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a Star Wars film that's going to answer a lot of questions, right? It's going to be very heavy on Jedi, Sith, and Force lore, as well as really expanding the current lore that was already provided by Disney and, of course, already provided by Lucasfilm before Disney even bought out Lucasfilm. So, with that being said, the first piece that I really want to go over that sounds very much heartwarming, and it may or may not have to do with the reshoots that took place, is of course the moment in which Rey and Kylo Ren are said to witness a vision of both Luke and Han in their older years, where Luke is said to be exchanging some kind of device to Han Solo, where Luke eventually gives him a hug and walks away, and the last shot is just an X-Wing flying off into the distance. Now, this is said to be the very last time that Luke sees Han Solo, and it really would make a lot of sense because we do know that Harrison Ford shot a number of scenes for this movie, one of which is said to be, of course, a powerful vision at the very end of the film appearing before Kylo Ren, literally, almost redeeming Kylo Ren, kind of bringing back that father and son element, where in Return of the Jedi, it was the son who redeemed the father, whereas in this scenario, from where things are going, it's going to be the father who redeems the son. Very poetic, I gotta say, and stays in tune with George Lucas's idea, it's like poetry, it rhymes, except this particular scenario would be in reverse. So that's what I like so much about this, is that we never really got to see that era of Star Wars, right? Everything's set in between Episodes, 6 and 7, and everything that actually lies with the characters of Luke, Han, and Leia, which they also will be touching on with younger versions of Luke and Leia in the very beginning of this movie, as well as in the very middle of this film. So the other piece that I do want to go over that also stands out to me a lot and connects over to the Lost City is where Rey and Kylo Ren eventually do indeed see a vision of a rear shot view of Darth Vader looking at Jedi and Sith ruins. Now, this without a doubt is the Lost City that we've been talking about for so very long now because, well, the Lost City is said to contain Jedi and Sith ruins, an entire city, if you will, and also tons of different statues. Now, the Sith location is actually called the Land of Warriors, or should I say the Jedi location is called the Land of Warriors, and the Sith location is called the Land of the Forbidden. So this movie really is taking advantage of Jedi, Sith, and Force lore, and what they're really trying to do in order to really make this film really feel very authentic to the expanded universe, because we saw similar scenarios like this in the EU with Jedi, Sith, and Force lore, as well as flow walking, and Force users being able to do all these powerful techniques in those, stories, whether they were books or novels or comics, whatever have you. But now in a live-action Star Wars film, Disney and Lucasfilm want to explore, that side of Star Wars and what really makes Star Wars, well, Star Wars. And I think that's what they're trying to do with this movie, is that they're really trying to gain the trust of fans, whether they're hardcore fans or fans that had a lot of issues with The Last Jedi. I think that they realized about the backlash, and they're trying to do something great with the final installment of the Skywalker saga. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.